Well, I regret to announce that Kenny Dalglish told the board yesterday of his wish to retire as team manager.
In February, Kenny Dalglish stunned English football by resigning as manager of Liverpool, with his team top of the table, chasing their 4th championship in 6 years under his leadership. The board acted quickly. They named team coach Ronnie Moran as his successor. This week, though, they called another press conference and sprang another surprise.
It gives me the greatest pleasure to announce the appointment of Liverpool Souness as the team manager of Liverpool Football Club. The appointment takes effect immediately.
Hello, Jim Rosenthal here with the news of another extraordinary week in the English Football League. After a day of intense speculation, Liverpool Souness arrived at Anfield on Wednesday, having resigned from the biggest job in the Scottish game at Glasgow Rangers. He was greeted like a long-lost son. He explained his reasons for returning.
In my opinion, and the vast majority of football people's opinion, Liverpool still play the best football of any club side in Great Britain, maybe in Europe, maybe in the world. And it's no secret that they have problems, but then again, I don't think there's a club playing football today that does no problems. And hopefully, between now and the end of the season, we can go on and get results that may end up with us winning the championship.
Liverpool fans have fond memories of his playing days. Dalglish returned away from home that time. Souness. Dalglish. Watson had a wave at him. Souness! Liverpool will give their supporters the finale. Souness arrived at Liverpool in the same season as Kenny Dalglish, and his career mirrors that of his predecessor. European Cup successes at Liverpool as a player, Scottish League titles as manager with Rangers. Unlike Dalglish, he leaves a team top of their division and chasing a 4th championship under his management. What of Ronnie Moran? He resumes his duties as assistant manager and team coach after the shortest tenure of any manager in the history of Liverpool Football Club. Souness's first task is formidable. 5 games to play, Liverpool trail Arsenal by 5 points. They've got a far inferior goal difference. They need to find winning ways instantly and hope the Gunners falter. On the very day of Souness's appointment, Arsenal's resolve was put to the test against Manchester City. Well, the new Liverpool boss says the Anfield club have better players than Arsenal. George Graham had the difficult task of re-motivating his players after they had their hopes of the double ended by Spurs in the FA Cup semi-final. They can now, as they say, concentrate on the league. Just 6 minutes gone and they're ahead. Kevin Campbell, his 10th of the season. On 14 minutes, Arsenal get their 2nd. Good work from Perry Groves. A fine layoff from Alan Smith. And Paul Merson flashes it past Tony Coton. It looks like 3 points in the bag. But it all goes wrong just before the interval. On 40 minutes, City pull one back. It's a very controversial penalty as well. Steve Bold and Niall Quinn go for that ball, and the Arsenal man is adjudged to have pushed Quinn. Despite the protests, it's a penalty, and it's 2-1. Mark Ward slots it home from the spot. And worse to follow for Arsenal. 3 minutes later, they're stunned. City get an equaliser. Ward's pass gets the better of the Gunners' offside trap. David White in the clear, and he beats David Seaman comfortably. 2-2 then in the second half. The Gunners came out desperate for the winner and all 3 points. The third never came. Michael Thomas goes closest, a brilliant run and off the woodwork. Arsenal settle for 1. They really wanted all 3 points. At the other end of the table, Derby went to Old Trafford, and they don't look like coming back there in the league next season. Clayton Blackmore and the Welshman give stand-in keeper Martin Taylor no chance. Derby, with their 2 big stars, Mark Wright and Dean Saunders, like the club itself, up for sale, refuse to give in, and 10 minutes later they get an equaliser. There's a good ball in from Gary Micklewhite for Paul Williams, and the United reserve keeper, the Australian Mark Bosnich, is beaten by the deflection off Bruce. Williams, though, claims the goal. United make it 2-1 on 67 minutes. A good advantage played by the referee. Robson for Brian McClare, and the Scot does the rest. 5 minutes from time, United make absolutely sure. Good work from Danny Wallace. His first shot is blocked, and this time he produces a far post cross, and Brian Robson in with a typical header. It's his first of the season. Leeds were the visitors at Loftus Road. Their trip to London far from successful, though. After a goalless first half, Rangers take the lead. Roy Wegerle, too slippery for Fairclough and Sterling. 1-0 QPR. Leeds down to 10 men. Gordon Strachan gets his marching orders from referee John Carter for dissent. And a minute from time, Rangers make it 2-0. Wilkins puts Simon Barker clear in the area, and Barker does the rest himself. A brilliant finish. All 3 points to Queen's Park Rangers. Chelsea, playing in unfamiliar red and white, had a good night at Carrow Road. They've had a fairly dismal recent run, but the strikers Gordon Durie and Kerry Dixon combine really well to get round the Norwich defence and open it up for the first goal, scored by Dennis Wise. Wise back in the England squad, and that's 1-0 on 18 minutes. Well, Real Madrid wanted to take Chelsea's Kerry Dixon on loan for the rest of the season. Chelsea said no, and you can see why. Here's Dixon setting up the second, laying that ball perfectly into the path of Durie, and that's 2-0, a fine strike from him on 38 minutes. A good night for Dixon, involved again in Chelsea's third. A lovely jump and flick on. Durie is clear again, his second of the night. 3-0, and Chelsea are coasting. There's a late consolation for Norwich, 11 minutes from time. Mix up between Lasso and Besant, and John Polston profits from close in. 3-1 to Chelsea, the result. Just one early goal settles this one at Selhurst Park. Thorsved challenged, can't hold it. Eric Young hooks it in for the only goal of the game. Spurs back down to earth after that semi-final success. So, good news for Liverpool. Arsenal dropped 2 points at home, and 2 days later, UEFA announced Liverpool will be readmitted to European competition next season if they finish in the top 2. Crystal Palace aren't too overjoyed at that news, though. It probably ends their hopes of a first European campaign. Today, Palace play Everton at Selhurst.